From 1992 to 2007, I would say we became very good at making things. We really transformed how cars and trucks were produced with design for manufacturing, lean manufacturing, global sourcing. I won't read the whole list. Math-based design and engineering, throughput improvement, compelling designs. And quite honestly, GM probably should have went bankrupt in 1991, and through the work of a lot of people focusing on these fundamentals for how to make things better, we didn't. We actually had our market cap up to $66 billion by 2000. Unfortunately, by 2007, it had declined again, and we just simply couldn't get in front of the legacy costs that we had taken on as part of the history of making things, and as a result, we went bankrupt in 2009. So here was a company that worked very, very hard at becoming better at making things, and all of the numbers would indicate that that all flowed to the bottom line. It still wasn't enough. Now let's look at a company that's been focused on making value, and that's Apple. The remarkable part of this story, and many of us forget the fact that in 1997, just 18 years ago, Apple was within 6 months of going bankrupt. They lost $1.6 billion. They brought Steve Jobs back to be the interim CEO, and their market cap was $2 billion. So he stopped the bleeding and took some initiative, and by 2000 they had a successful iMac. They returned to profitability. He had become the permanent CEO again and had moved the market cap to $16 billion. So that's pretty good. I think most of us would say that's great progress. Look what happened. 2001 to 2015, retail stores, iPod, iTunes stores, MacBook Pro, iPhone, Apple TV, apps, iPads, Apple Watch, $700 billion market cap. So this is a subject that you might say maybe it's long term. This wasn't long term, 18 years. It's a remarkable story. I would contend it had a lot to do with making value. The iPod, for example, wasn't just about storing more songs. It was a complete rethink of the interface that we have with music. It allowed us to download music from our computers. It allowed us to actually have an experience of a user interface that many of us had never had before. It's the process of using ingenuity to create value for people in society. So that's kind of a simple definition. That's what we landed on in the National Academy work. A little more deeply, the value results from integrating customer understanding, innovation, design, engineering, production, distribution, and service. And it's to provide compelling and consistently positive customer experiences. The point here is that what you're designing and engineering isn't a thing. A thing is part of an experience, and you really need to understand how to make those experiences compelling and, very, very importantly, consistently positive. So that's that transition from making things to making value. So what are the key success factors behind stories like Apple's? And there's a lot of other stories like Apple. First, it's an integrated system that maximizes the value over the entire global network. Second, it's this design innovation focused on the total customer experience. Third, it's technology innovation to ensure that these compelling experiences exist. And very importantly, it's operational excellence to ensure consistently positive experiences. All of these are necessary conditions to excel in making value. And when you put this integrated system together, you put the customer experience in the center. That's what drives it. And you think about this as all of these pieces working together as a system. Organizations get challenged by trying to work in functional silos. So you have an engineering department, a manufacturing department, a purchasing department. And in fact, the real breakthroughs are those companies that can integrate that together and focus on the compelling experience.